All right, guys. So Souls just came out. This is another movie that's come to Disney Plus. And what are your guys' impressions on Souls? Because I'm honestly, I feel very soulful after watching that film.
100 times better than Wonder Woman.
Are we jazzing? Is that what we're doing right now? Are we jazzing?
Yes.
Yeah. So the context of, I think most of us, because we watched both movies in the same day, right?
Yes.
Wonder Woman and Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like for me, right after watching Wonder Woman, I was disappointed. So for Soul, I didn't have like super high expectations, but after watching it, I just felt good. You know.
Yep.
It felt refreshing. It felt good. It felt like a great movie. It moved me basically.
Yes.
Any movie that can move me, I feel is a great movie.
100% agree. I agree. For me, this movie really, really felt personal. Like, not in the sense where I'm like an actual music person, but more in the sense as I'm an artist, African American, trying to get my dreams and stuff like that. Don't want to die. Like, I feel like that's my purpose. So it's like, I'm being real. So it's like, so this movie, I mean, there's so many things. So I'm just like, when I had this movie, like, I'm just like, every time I was like, damn, like it really, really, like,
Yeah.
like so
It
much of
hit
the
different.
conversations. Yeah.
Yeah,
really did.
it was a fantastic film in my opinion. I think that they did so many like interesting things. I knew like, and the thing about like these Pixar films, they are very good about not revealing too much in the advertising for the film. And so I came in understanding, okay, it's about death and that's about it, basically, that I knew going in. And so watching it, it was very reminiscent of Inside Out, the Pixar film from a couple years back. But it was very much like, I just appreciated how they approached this topic of death and life purpose and fulfillment and, understanding your own personal spark. I think that all of these elements were molded together so differently where I'm just like sitting here and this Pixar team, whatever team is behind these Pixar films, is just another level, man. Like it's beyond what they're doing with your run-of-the-mill Disney movies, in my opinion. I think that the Pixar stuff can just they are when they do hit out the park, they hit it out the park.
I'm curious about something.
I agree.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Sorry.
That's all right. Sorry, I got really addicted to the soulful energy that's going on here with me and Osi. But
No worries.
but
I can say my review after.
sure. Okay, I won't be too rude. But I am curious about something. Did Pixar did Coco, or Coco's just Disney something by itself?
I think that's just Disney. Although, in all fairness, I still have not watched Coco.
Oh, okay.
What?
I know it's been on my list. I need to get around to it. But
No way. That's also really good.
Yeah, that was
You
a
should
good
watch
movie.
that one.
The reason why I asked is because
Coco is Pixar.
Coco's
okay.
Pixar. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
another interesting thing about this industry, whatever, right? Or the Pixar in general. These movies are dealing with the same themes, but yet they did it in such a creative way where it like they feel like completely different movies, but yet they're dealing with the same themes of music, afterlife, stuff like that. But obviously there's certain, like Coco's more family orientated, this one's more individual. But it's amazing how they could do that. Like that's another reason why I love the creativity of these people.
Yeah. They do it in such a elegant way too, where you really like, I feel like you weren't expecting it, but you also were, and then all of a sudden you're freaking crying.
Yeah.
But in regards to Soul, my review of it, I think that it was really deep. It was such a good time to be watching it too, during Christmas, during this time, and I feel like it's so relatable because we're all trying to find ourselves and who we are and what's our passion, but none of that, like sometimes we don't even know what it is, and that's how relatable it is, especially with 22. Because I felt that I'm like, I don't know what my passion is, like what is my spark? And then in the end I think they revealed like a spark is also just living. Like it could be anything.
Oh, that's how you took it.
Reason for living.
A reason
That
for
was
living.
that was one of my takeaways, because like he was trying to, like, she was like, what's my spark? I don't know what my spark is, like, in the end. And it was, with all the scenes that they had, it was basically for her just living.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, maybe I took it too philosophically, but I look at it as like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's what kind of, I got the vibe where it's like, as long as you appreciate life, that's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
That's what the way they look at it. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I took it as the will to want to live is the spark. The way I saw it is like each soul, and I also think this is a good topic for later, but like the fact that 22, her number, and then the one that we heard also like in the billions, right?
Was 100 billion. I'm like,
Yeah.
Exactly. Think about that. She or he, because it's a neutral in gender.
I think they call her she. I think they call her she.
Yeah.
They call her she,
film.
but you know, she can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 22 is the 22nd soul ever created.
Yeah.
So that's super early on. When I was thinking about the movie after I watched it, I was like, dang. I just realized that after I watched it, like while I was about to head to bed, and I thought that was a crazy revelation in my head.
You know what's so funny? So the way he died, where he was walking down the street and he fell inside a sewer pipe. There's sort of a joke where
Manhole.
Manhole. There's sort of a joke where they say tragedy is somebody who like cuts his wrists, while comedy is somebody who is walking down a manhole and just dies. So it's like, it's interesting that like, and that kind of theme, although like, I mean, not to say like the fact that it was kind of like comedic and not tragic kind of plays off that theme. So I kind of liked how they used that element there. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Anyways, I wanted to quickly finish my earlier thought. Yeah, basically, so every soul sort of has this thing, or at least we were led to believe that they had this spark, this purpose, this singular thing that they really love doing is their spark. And I think it was just because they tried it out, and then after trying it out, they felt like, I want to live to experience this. So that idea is the same for 22. She never found something at the academy where or what was it called? Youth seminar. There you go.
The youth seminar,
at the youth seminar where she felt like she wanted to live. Like everything that she did there didn't make her feel like she wanted to live. And then when she actually finally got into Gardner's body, that's when she finally felt that she actually wanted to try it out and live through those experiences.
And
that's the way I saw the spark.
Yeah. And the way that like they showed when she was appreciating life was so nice too. Like how they dramatize it, like the leaf falling and her looking up in Joe's body and stuff. I just thought it was so.
Yeah.
I wish I could have watched this in theaters and be surrounded.
I think
Same.
For me, it was the seed that floats into her hand or into Joe's
that's the
hand.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. That in itself was like the thing that brought her back from being lost. And I think that for me, the way that I saw it was the beauty of growth and progression. And in a sense, as this pre-birth soul, she is this seed who is just perpetually a seed and doesn't have the whatever is missing to take that leap and become part of life and grow into whatever it is that she's meant to grow into. And so for me, that's how I saw that seed, and that's how I saw her journey and her spark, is like coming to this realization of like, this life is about growth, it's about progression, and it's about, going from the seed to the eventual tree that it becomes. And so for her, this was her journey of like realizing that and like making the decision to be a part of that. So that's how I saw it. And
it really is a journey. And I liked how they made her a lost soul too, because I feel like that symbolizes like the depression that people go through, like the mentality and like how important it is to have mental stability too. And them showing it on a Disney movie for children is crazy for me.
Yeah.
Like that's so, it's great. And I like that they put that in there too, because it's relatable to everybody. Everybody goes through that. And eventually, you know, you are out of it. And that's also what they showed. And she was able to come out of that depression and all those people telling her she's wrong, or like how she viewed herself. Because she kept saying, I have no purpose, or blah, 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 blah. And I thought that's great too, because I can relate to that.
Yeah, one of the other things, I don't know if you guys noticed this, maybe I just haven't seen a Disney or Pixar movie in a while, but the animation in this movie was next level, in my opinion. Like the way, oh my God, like the way that they made people look, especially the crowded New York streets, it was next level stuff. And it was almost like if you blinked quickly, or if you just looked off, if you weren't watching, you looked at the screen and you looked back, it would look like a live action movie. It would look like it was almost like it was still like your typical Disney faces and proportions and stuff like that, but it was so hyper realistic that it was different. And I don't know about you guys, if you guys noticed anything like that, but for me it seemed more visceral in that way. What do you guys think about the animation?
I think it was great.
Yeah.
I think they also imbued like wonderful personalities to every character, and there was so much like comedic elements to every character too, that like I found myself laughing at some points, even though like it was sad, but it was hilarious. Like they had very good moments in this movie. They had a great balance between like funny and like what you said, Chuku, like comedy and tragedy.
Yeah.
They had a really good balance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love the theme about appreciating life. That like basically point of life is to appreciate it, and like Osi said, grow. Really. I mean, I can go all day. This movie's literally like me going to a church and talking about like amen 24/7. So I really feel like that. So I can go all day. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It was really good movie. Definitely, it's gonna be one of my top Pixar movies.
Same.
So
Yeah, so I definitely agree with what everyone is saying here, and also the whole like 3D modeling and the animation, beautiful and amazing.
yeah.
I'd probably have to watch like the more recent ones, but I do feel like most Pixar movies in terms of their 3D modeling and animations are like great.
Okay,
Definitely.
for sure. Because like even when like Dorothea had her dress, I was like, that looks like a real like dress right there. So I mean,
Yeah, but they are coming out with like more advanced like lighting techniques and stuff like that for scenes and stuff like. So
for sure.
I wouldn't doubt it if it were newer ways of doing it.
For sure.
But
I mean, have you
also-
seen the zoom in of Toy Story costumes in the Pixar? Have you seen those pictures before?
No.
For the Toy Story movies? They like zoomed in on the detail, and it's legit. They drew on every woven piece of like thread onto there. So I'm not surprised that it seemed like a real dress for you.
And you know, like I mean, I know we talked about Wonder Woman at the top of this, but honestly, some of the CGI in that movie it left stuff to be desired. Very much. It left stuff to be desired. And then going from that and then seeing this, it's like, oh my God, we as human beings are so capable of such like feats, especially in this area of computer generated images. And you know, when you have something that looks lazy, it's because it is lazy. In 2020, in this day and age, it's almost 2021. If something just looks lazy on screen, that's CGI. It's because it is, or it's just being cheap. But for DC, I'm pretty sure it's just because they were lazy. I'm sure that they had money when they were making this movie. They had money for whatever. But we don't have to talk about
yeah,
that.
honestly, I did want to compare a little bit as well, because like Wonder Woman had this, we'll talk about it later, but Wonder Woman had this message at the end, right? When she was speaking to everyone, but it felt so forced.
Yes.
And it felt like they're trying to shove it down our throats. Soul has a message as well, but they did it in a way that felt real, felt right. And it was more like us going along with this character's journey, and the character felt real, and the character's problems felt real.
Yeah.
For Wonder Woman, I didn't feel any of that.
Yeah.
And that made all the difference in the message, because a message you're trying to force, it just goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
This one, like I felt it, in my heart. Like I almost teared up. I usually never cry in movies.
Yeah. I feel like, so there's a great saying in like the story or a storytelling, which is like, it's better to show, not tell. So I feel like a lot of Wonder Woman was kind of told, and this did a good job of showing, because it was a lot more about characters coming to those realizations through certain scenes and moments, and you see that build up and paid off, versus like characters have to like express the theme, because it's like, that was the theme we're trying to express, so did you get it? So I really feel like this movie really did a good job of it, where you didn't feel like, again, it wasn't preachy, even though I say I'm going to go to church and be amen 24/7 afterwards. So but yeah.
Especially like his interaction with his mom, and like him trying to fight for what he believes in. That part is like conversations you would have with your parents, like word for word.
Yeah, for sure.
And then right after like him doing it, and he's like, I thought I would feel different. Like that hit different too. And I was like, man,
that was a big moment. That was a big moment, because even me, I was like, throughout that film, especially at the beginning, I'm like, oh no, he needs to like get back in time so that he can make this performance. But then you're taken along on that journey, and they deliver on that grand performance, and it's a great performance, and he makes it, and he's able to do it. But then it's this reality of life where these things that we prop up as ultimate goals are empty to a certain degree.
Preach.
Exactly. It's like,
and it's just like, it's this weird, it's this weird aspect of humanity. I forget what the quote that she said her grandmother told her about the fish in the ocean.
Oh,
like,
yes, that's the one.
The fish is wants to get to the ocean, and the other fish is like, you're in the ocean, and the younger fish is like, no, this is water, I want the ocean. And it's that understanding. That's like one of those things where it's like, I gotta just think about that, because I feel like I understand what it's saying, but I feel like I don't understand fully what it's saying.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy, because they literally put life on the screen. And it's crazy because, Wonder Woman is live action, it's real people in it, but this is an animation. And like, it was so much more deep and connected in a different level than Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I definitely want to have a topic about animation versus live action in terms of storytelling, because I do feel like there's an underrated element of animation. Like you could see it, like everyone wants to push live action, but like, again, we have stories like this where like Scott almost cried, I almost cried, and I felt more connected, versus Wonder Woman, where I'm crying, but not because it's crying because I'm just like, why did you do this? So I definitely do want to put that in discussion. But again, overall, this movie was a really amazing movie. Pixar does it again. Like every time, I have a love-hate relationship with Pixar, because I know I'm going to enjoy the movie, but I'm like, can I like not like it? And then again, they always, like, I thought Inside Out was going to be my thing. Now this is my thing. So again, overall, I really like this.
Yeah, definitely.